Hey there, thank you for watching, and welcome to Forged Alliance Forever. Today I have a 5v5 custom match here on the most amazing new Ruckus map generator. Let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players, starting off with Team 1 in the Northwest, ending with Team 2 in the Southeast. Starting off with Team 1 Southwesternmost player in Light Oak Tan, we have Desert Wolf 216 going first lane as a Seraphim. He is a 1300, and he is a fitting name there because they are playing in the desert. To his north in Chevy Crimson, we have the Seraphim Commander of Furio going first land. He is a 2000 rated highest ranked player on Team 1 and in the game overall. To his east in Imperial Gray, we have Angel of Death with his lead speech going first land. He is a 1600. Another Seraphim here for Team 1 in the Northeast. It is Melonwise going first land in Batman Gray. He is a 1300. And rounding out the roster here for Team 1 as another Seraphim, he is Alfie123 going first land in Royal Blue as a 1500. So for Team 1 side of the map, they have all Seraphim. That's it. Stop. Full stop. That's it. No UEF, no Aeon, no Cyberns. It is all Seraphim for Team 1. To the Southeast, starting off with the Southeasternmost player on Team 2. It is in Emerald Green, Sapir going first land. He is a 1700. And again, like I said, he is a Seraphim. To his west, another Seraphim here for Team 2. It is Stick going first land in Ruby Red. He is an 1100. To his northeast in Regal Purple, the first different faction player of the match to be introduced. It is Omni Haven going first land as an Aeon. He is a 1500. And in Snow White here to his east, it is BRS DCCC 97 going first land as a third Seraphim here for Team 2. He is a 1900, the highest ranked player on Team 2. And to his north in lightish red pink, we have Curly going first land, second air as a UEF. He is a 1400. So for Team 2 side of the map, they have 1 UEF, 1 Aeon, and 3 Seraphim, which means overall both teams do not have access to Cybern technology. Apologies to those spiky space socialists. You are not represented in this cast, but hopefully you will enjoy it nonetheless. And of course, as a reminder, Team 1 also lacks UEF and Aeon technology. For 10 players in this match, to take a look at the reclaim here, for them to scoop up, they have 9,000 reclaim, a little bit more than that, which means each player averaged out is about 900 mass, which isn't nothing, but it's definitely a lot less than we've seen in a couple of recent matches. But our players are going to be, of course, focused on getting the mass nearest their base, because that's where most of the reclaim does rely. There is some in the middle of the map to go after, but honestly, most of it does reside. So we could see some transport being built to be able to get up to that plateau, as well as trying to aggressively plant some flags on the other side of the map. But there might look like it's going to be some distance building, most likely to get that reclaim early on as well. Looking on Team 2 side of the match, let's take a look at the mass point layouts. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Trimex positions, as well as a decent amount of mexes in the southwestern corner and the northeastern corner to grab. But besides that, there's a lot of one-offs. Not really a whole lot to go after, especially in the middle of the map where it's essentially devoid of anything. I definitely see a fire base here and a fire base here, and them launching missiles and artillery at one another from those positions. So at least the corner players will, the southwestern and the northeastern players will definitely be fighting over these mexes most heavily. We may even see an additional comm go over to help secure that position. But in the middle, it's going to be kind of, again, like I said, devoid, no man's land in the middle of the map. Not really a whole lot going after. And, of course, with Seraphim-only technology for Team 1, expect to see a lot of chickens. I expect to see... Team 2 has 3 of the 5 players being Seraphim as well, but it's going to be just chickens, 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 and more chickens for this game, with some Fat Boys and some Galactic Colossus running around. We are seeing some movement here from the comms here for both teams. Team 1 has 1, 2, 3 of them on the move. Actually, 4 of them on the move. Team 2 has 4 of the 5. We already see some transports laden with engineers on board here for both of the air players. Looks like it's going to be Sapir versus Furio. Not the same position, but pretty close to one another in terms of location. Transport does land. Nice little air scout over top. We'll see what's going on that upper plateau. And again, these major plateaus in the match, or in the map, I keep saying match, but I guess that's the same thing, firmly in Team 2 and Team 1's territory respectively, so not really a lot of tactical advantage for going after them in terms of, highly aggressive plays in terms of the other team, due to the fact that pretty easy to just send some gunships and move over, send some bombers over. It's not like they're trying to take the middle of the map where they're trying to, have a nice little exclusion zone. It will be really impressive if one player does grab a significant plateau, either being this one over here or this one being here, and that being mirrored on the other side of the map. I don't really see that being the case, just because of the fact that these plateaus are so entrenched in those teams' territories. It's going to be very difficult to secure it for the long game, unless an entire base gets wiped out, and then maybe that might happen. But we'll see as the game does progress on. We see, of course, comms moving to the middle of the map. This is a full 20 by 20 match, essentially. There's a tiny bit of space that's not used, but it's a 20 by 20 map, and it takes a while for those players to move to the middle line. We are seeing some nice fanning out here for Team 1's Melonwise in the northeastern corner of the map, getting some nice little Thams. They only have Seraphim technology, and getting some engineers, of course, building some P-gens, as well as, of course, those T1 Mechs. We're seeing a transport laden with some engineers on board here for Team 1's Furio, trying to go for that upper plateau. There's a transport up here with no engineers, very interestingly. It will get spotted here by Team 2. Will it get shot down before those engineers make landfall? As I was, essentially being contradicted here about the whole going after the transport play. Looks like the transport will get shot down right before the engineers are given the orders to evacuate and shove off. So that transport does fail, and of course that's just due to the fact that it's a lot of time to transport, a lot of time to move to the other side of the map. There were already some interceptors from two different players nearby. It was close. Had it been maybe 2 or 3 seconds faster, it would have probably made it, but it would have been easily taken out. Maybe a T1 facility would have been built, but probably that's about it. T2 coming on the way here for Omnihaven, and Steak going for his gun speed and range upgrade. Gun damage and range also started to hit for Curly almost simultaneously as I speak it. Team 1, I don't see any upgrades coming online anytime shortly. They're going to have the exact same set of upgrades because, again, Team 1 is only Seraphim. And I think partly the reason why, lore-wise, at least for this match, that Team 2 is fighting Team 1 is that a couple of Seraphim comms have defected to the UEF, Aeon, Cybran Coalition, or whatever, and the other team is very, very upset about that. We do see not really a lot of action happening in the middle line of the map. Both teams being very defensive, building up nice groups of units here in the southwestern corner here for Desert Wolf, and he has a nice little facility online, being able to deter any sort of Team 1 spam. But when that gun comm does come online, that position will be attacked pretty quickly. We do see wall sections already being established here by Team 1, making sure that Team 2 can't just easily invade from this direction. They either have to go towards the south or go north. Team 1 also could build a nice little, not land facility, but a wall, nice little wall of China, whatever you want to call it, to block this engagement, which means they'd have to go all the way around. And not that wall sections prevent you from, going there entirely. You can obviously just target them and destroy them, but that takes time. The units have to move around them. You have to, marker them a little bit more to deal with that, and it takes a little bit of time. Some players do it, some players don't, just depends. Or you just have a Colossus just stomp on the walls, and there they go anyway. Gun speed and range has been started here for the Seraphim commander of Desert Wolf 216, and saying Seraphim for Team 1 is essentially just, they're going to be the exact same, essentially adjective. They're all Seraphim, so there's really no point in saying Seraphim because they all are that. We do see the Seraphim commander on Team 2, just as I say, Seraphim isn't necessary to say. It is on Team 2, so it is, because Team 2 has a couple of factions more than Team 1. He's going for his speed and range. Nano repair started for Curly, very interestingly, because he hasn't even taken any damage, wants to be prepared for the future. Team 1 has done a very good job on trying to secure the Northeastern corner. How unfortunately for them, Curly has come in all around and going after these Northwestern Mechs and positions, actually coming in from behind the comm of Melonwise. He actually is moving southward, and his units are moving southeastwardly to engage these units over here to the east, trying to catch his opponent off guard. But of course, with a gun comm almost done here for BRS, and a gun nano comm almost done for Curly. Those units are not very long for this world. Gun upgrade has been started here for Angel of Death. And it does like all the comms on Team 1 have left their main bases. They main because Furio is still in his base, but he's going for his upgrades, assisting those quite nicely. And Team 2's air player of Sapir has not left his base as well, going for T3. Almost finished off with that before 10 minutes. I think Team 1 might be a little bit behind the upgrade. Yeah, they're still going for T2 engineers, which means Team 2 will have access to T3 air technology before Team 1. Team 1 does have a secondary air player, maybe the primary actually from Alfie, going for T3 tech. So Team 2 will be a little bit faster with that upgrade. Maybe they'll go for bomber, maybe they won't. Just depends how Sapir feels in that moment. But it doesn't look like it's going to be a 2v1 in the air game for the time being, giving Team 1 that advantage, but Team 2 has the advantage in the land with 4 players going for land. ACU here, ACU here, ACU here, says Desert Wolf, trying to point out some comm locations here for his teams, letting them know, hey, this is, you know, nice little tack vectors and where everybody is on the other team. Love that, you know, those pinging going on here from Team 1's Desert Wolf, and I would assume, yeah, there are little text bubbles as well to mark their locations. Love that feature. It's really easy to keep track of stuff unless the comm moves, and that's not really helpful, but it definitely assists with being like, oh yeah, there's stuff over here, there's comm over here, maybe we can go after it. But the comm of Omnihaven, speaking of comms, going for a nice little firebase here, making sure he is defended in the air and on the ground. Needs probably 1 TMD, which looks like he's going to build here pretty shortly, so he's going to be protected in all fields of combat, especially in the T2 stage. And his army moving westward, going around the wall section that's being built, not going straight down the middle. Easily could have done, but Team 1 was probably expecting him to do that. And those armies not really coagulating here for Team 1. This group of units moving in on the eastern side. These units now moving into intercept, but it does give a little bit of time for Team 2 to get a little bit more of a buffer zone going on and direct those forces. Looks like they are going to clash on the eastern side here for the wall sections being built, prevent at least one section of it from being fully constructed, and allowing some incoming units from Team 2 shortly. But it does look like the wall sections will overlap, and more of them are being built or planned to being built, so it looks like there's no issue there with it being fully completed. If I let you through, can you raid 2K, says Desert Wolf to Omnihaven. What does that mean? Oh, raid Furio? I don't know what that's in reference to, but anyway. In the northeast, we have the gun speed and range upgrade here for Melonwise. He has secured his position quite nicely, but Team 2's Curly has gained a little bit more territory than he had recently, especially with that gun nanocom on board. And BRS not pushing forward with his gun comm just as of yet, kind of just, of course, moving around this little hillock here, being, again, back and forth, not giving Team 1's Angel of Death a nice little opening for his commander. But Angel of Death is a 1600 facing off against a 1900. Not that much of a discrepancy for rating, but it does make a difference, at least to some degree. Not a huge degree, but it does make a difference. Stake the 1100 here for Team 2, facing off Desert Wolf as a 1300. Not as much of a discrepancy. And this is an ANZ game, which means it's, definitely balanced just due to the fact that players are most likely in comms. There's some conversations in chat, but mostly it's going to be over comms. So it's a lot better response times. You don't have to sit there and type something out. You can just say, hey, there's something ongoing over here, go over here, get pinged over there, whatever the case may be. And it looks like we might see the first comm-on-comm action here at 13 minutes. Very slow on that comm-on-comm action, at least that I have noticed. It's going to happen between the 1300 of Desert Wolf and the 1100 of Stake, both Seraphim commanders. I mean, the chances of a Seraphim going after a Seraphim is high, given the fact that there are 7 of the 10 being Seraphim. But Stake going to move in. Desert Wolf has gun. Stake has gun and nano. That overcharge, don't know what it was doing, but it looks like it was moving around it for some reason. PD is online. More of them are being built. It will force back Desert Wolf just slightly. His unit's trying to move in and assist their commander, but again, going against a non-nanocom versus a nanocom, but having PD online definitely gives the slightest edge here for Team 1's Desert Wolf. And in the Northeast, we see com-on-com action. Looks like it's going to start here between Curly and Melonwise. Melonwise trying to soften up these units with some bombers overhead, but Curly's moving in with his commander. He does have T2, gives him a little bit boost in hit points. About actually the exact same as Curly. Curly has nano though, 50 hit points a second regen versus 20. And there are the clashing of those Team 1 units. Both comms are actually moving away from another. And Melonwise does drop below 75% hit points, so he is in the yellow at the current moment. Veterancy at 300 and Curly's veterancy also very much matching, so pretty much on par between both those players. It is a 14 versus a 13, so again, very small discrepancy in rating. I think it's not going to be perfect. FAF games are never perfect, but they can be pretty close, especially with optimizing the who's facing who kind of scenario. It's again 15-20 average for Team 2, 15-40 for Team 1, so 20 points of rating per player. It's not that much. It really isn't that much. But Team 2's Omni Haven pushing into Desert Wolf's territory, getting pretty close to his main base. There are some Ilshis online and PD as well, but there's also just a ton of Aurora and Obsidians. Love the CDs being used. It's essentially the ultimate weapon versus the ultimate sword versus the ultimate shield, with the T2.5 Ilshi versus the T2.5 Obsidian, and that Ilshi is being crushed by these Obsidians. They do outnumber them at least a little bit. But these units are kind of just moving upstream with no paddle, and it does look like Team 1 will gain the advantage. Reinforcements do come on the line, and moving westward here for Angel of Death to shore up those defenses. And Furio has actually moved south and started to secure this little firebase here, essentially in the way of Omni Haven's advance. Shield has been transferred over to Sapier so he could power the shield. Don't really know what's going on with that, but that's interesting. Looks like it's going to be Omni started here shortly here by Omni as well. So the Omni will build the Omni, if that's not irony or anything like that. Looks like it's another com-on-com action here between these Northeastern players, Melonwise and Curly, going at it once again. PD is being established for Melonwise. We'll give him a slight advantage in that regard, and Curly does retreat once again. He drops into the yellow ever so slightly, but Melonwise is below 50% of his hit points. He doesn't have nano, so he has to be very careful. Curly can easily rep up those hit points a lot faster, and with veterancy does assist with that. Mongoose gets annihilated by that PD, and the T2 Parashield will be able to shield a couple of shots, allowing Curly to get in close and take out that PD. We do see Melonwise is going to continue to retreat. Ilshi's just thrown forward to halt the advance of Curly's commander and forces. We have that Mongoose again. Not really a lot of hit points on board, but does have a decent amount of range on board that unit. And Curly focusing on the PD, making sure that Melonwise can't use that longer range advantage. And Melonwise continuing to try to push forward and back here. And that Mongoose still alive somehow. Does get killed off literally as I speak it. And it does look like the assistance from BRS is going to come and force Melonwise out or even kill him off. He doesn't have a lot of vantage point, a lot of room to move around. And Team 1 is not responding here. Angel of Death is going to start pushing in southward against BRS, but we might be looking here at a kill at 17 minutes on the clock. Bombers over top trying to soften up BRS's commander. He also does not have nano, but again, it's 2v1, and Melonwise is going for that nano upgrade. He's already at 50%. He is flying with that upgrade. Ilshis are being targeted. Team 2 needs to kill those engineers off to prevent the upgrade, at least how fast it's going. And nano will finish off, give him a decent chunk of hit points and region 86 to be exact. And Ilshis and Mongoose and Pillars and Oh My are moving in here from Team 2. Looks like Melonwise is going to start shifting westward. Needs to continue to shift westward. Again, it's a 2v1 scenario. Even if BRS does not have nano on board that commander, Curly is going to be able to take a decent amount of those shots, and we do see BRS is retreating. Curly at 3-star veterancy, Melonwise at 1-star veterancy, and now he has his little brackets next to his name. I don't negotiate with terror. What is going on with that? I don't know. Tactical missile has been started here for Desert Wolf, looks like, and from the scoreboard chat. Region Aura is done here for Stake, so he's going for the Seraphim Region Aura tactic, and BRS has been forced back to Curly's position because of these units outbound from Team 1's Alfie. Not really a lot of units, but it does again annoy Team 2's comm at the moment, and Melonwise has lost his entire firebase over here due to some Ilshis and some T1 artillery. And Melonwise is going to sit there, but I don't think that's the best play. Again, it's a 2v1, and even if he just full steams ahead against Curly's commander, if BRS does join him, it's not going to matter. And we're looking at 18,000 hit points and some change versus 18,000. And Angel of Death is killed off by BRS. He charges forward, did not have the units or the hit points to deal with the PD and units for Team 2's BRS. So that would be the first kill on the cards here for Team 2. Is now a 5v4 in favor of Team 2. Units still trying to break through that front line here from Team 2's Omni Haven. And Furio has retreated, but there are some Voltu gunships nearby. And that will deal with a decent amount of the units that are inbound. Stake is still pushing forward. Now trying to play on the southwestern side of the map. And I am going to split it just briefly because I'm knowing, yep, that's just what I was about to look at. Alfie has defeated BRS. Curly takes a decent chunk of hit points to the face due to the AoE explosion from his teammate of BRS. We are seeing that movement here in the east. I know it doesn't make sense. This is on the western side of the map. This is on the eastern side of the map. And it's flipped locations. But for now, that's just what we got. Curly is falling pretty close to the red. Same here with Melonwise. But he's at 50%. And Curly's sitting at about probably 30%. Not the fighter bombers looks like they were used. Maybe there's a strap bomber. I don't really know. I don't think. Yeah, it looks like it was probably just not the fighter bombers. There's no 1,000 wrecks anywhere. So Team 1 gets a snipe with Nothas. Team 2 killed off Team 1's Angel of Death with some units. Curly does fall into the red, but again, Nano will get him up pretty quickly. Not as fast as Melonwise. He's at 92 hit points a second regen versus the 68. But again, 68's a lot better than 20. And it does look like Team 1 and Team 2 just jostling here in the southwestern corner. We'll end the split and refocus onto them. And T3 makes a comment here by BRS, probably talking about facility. Back commander now, probably talking about, Curly. So Team 2's BRS being the man in the chair here for his team, trying to assist with tactical movements. And Stake trying to decide what he wants to do. Team 1's Desert Wolf has just fallen back. And it does look like there is an attack outbound for his firebase here shortly, but he's prepping for it for nice PD. Would like to see some T1s in there, but he's also going for another shield emplacement. Love to see that, be able to shake off 13,000 points of damage. Artillery fire is raining in from this position as well for Stake. It will prompt some reaction from Team 1, but again, it's one artillery. It's not a whole lot, but Team 2 could build more and more, which they currently are going to go for the ringing of the PGens as well to be able to increase their fire rate. We saw some Titans online here for Team 2's UEF player of Curly. And they're just starting to run around the map going after more mexes here in the northeastern corner. Probably should split these up a little bit, go after these mexes over here. Actually, these aren't even mexes. These two aren't. They're just some PD. T2 over there is the only one really worth going after. And the radar. Take out both. Definitely worth it. Pings do go down. Looks like BRS just say, hey, go after those. Bombers are running over the top of Team 2's Titans. Would have loved to see some flak cannons in there. But again, it's... He's running around being very annoying for Team 1, so again, something's better than nothing. It's better to attack without the air coverage than just not attack at all, especially when you have the ability to do so. Spy plane will get annihilated by ASF. And artillery still raining in on Desert Wolf's position. 21 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock. Let's take a look at the game overall. Team 1 at 4 players left. Team 2 also at 4 players left. Team 2 has lost their highest rated player. Team 1 has lost their second highest rated player, Angel of Death. And then obviously the loss of BRS. Team 2 sitting at a little bit more mass than Team 1. I'd say about 25 mass on average. Maybe Team 1 has some power issues maybe, but Team 2 might also have some power issues. So very fluctuating here between the mass totals. And map control sitting at about probably 55-45. The middle isn't really worth anything. So maybe just say 50-50 and call it a day. Let me know down in the comments who you think is going to currently win this game. Please, please, if you haven't done so already, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Again, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And I can't thank you enough. I appreciate all of the support, the subscriptions, well, I guess they are subscriptions, but likes, comments, everything. Thank you so very much. I really do appreciate it. And of course, make sure you share this video with anyone, everyone, especially your pets, because of course your pets want to watch with you. Why not? Maybe they have their own tablet or phone or computer and they want to sit there and watch me talk about what's going on in this game or any of my other videos. But some Titans are pushing against Millwise. Millwise going for the advanced regen, sorry, advanced nano repair, not advanced regen. Titans focusing on the Ilshis, and I don't know if that's the smartest play or not. The nano repair will be finished, which means his hit points are just going to skyrocket. And there they go, 46,000. And he started off at 20,000, so 26,000 hit points additional due to that upgrade. And had these been Percy's, definitely would have gone after the Calm in that regard. But the Titans trying to force back Millwise. And again, 46,000 hit points is a ton of hit points to try to chew through, especially with 248 hit point per second regen. It is just, again, a drop in the bucket for those Titans to deal with. There is a Percy online. There's only one of them. This is the situation where Titans definitely would have been better right here. Wall sections being built to annoy the pathfinding for the units outbound from Curly, but he's able to sidestep those. And Millwise now changing his name once again to now having the brackets instead of the less than or greater than signs next to his name. Don't know why he keeps changing it. I don't know if it's a way for him to track how many star veterancy he has. Maybe that's the naming mod that he likes to use. So this is 3-star. Maybe they maybe you have to keep track. If he changes again because of veterancy, that's probably what it is. A lot of wall sections here for Furio to prevent any sort of incursions. I do love the tower defense strategy he's doing. He has a wall section over here preventing incursion this way. Team 2 either has to go north and then west, or they have to go west, then north, then east, then northeast, then west to get to his main base. I love that kind of just forcing your opponent to weave through your construct little maze. Those tower defense games are pretty fun. I haven't played one. Well, I played Taro with Taur, which is, I guess it is technically a tower defense game, but it's you have a central tower, and you can build towers around it, and it's essentially just rounds and rounds of, like, as you accumulate resources from all of the different rounds, you can build more turrets, upgrade turrets, research new turrets. It's really interesting. It's not really that complicated in terms of, it's not, Skyrim where it's very long and there's a lot of quests and all that stuff. It's not Frostpunk with all the different mechanics, that sort of game. It's very, very simple. If you kind of want just kind of a relaxing, a little bit of strategy, but not really a whole lot, definitely check it out. Not, not paid for or anything like that. I just thought about tower defense games, and that's the one that came to mind off the top of my head. We have some T3 mobile artillery using the environment to their advantage to hide, shooting over that plateau, going after these units just sitting here for Omnihaven. He needs to move those, or at least put some more shields online. He has a Colossus online, so I expect to see some sort of push soon by that land army. We do see Ilshis actually coming in to assist. Looks like it's going to be one solid push, and now it's just Firebase Wars here between the two players in the southeastern corner of the map. I also enjoy the fact that Team 2's air player of Sapir has multiple Omnis online. One of them placed in the middle of the map for maximum coverage, and a secondary one just to have one over here in the southwest. Love to see that. Almost sees the entire map just with one radar signature platform, and then of course another one here in the southwest as well. And if Team 1 had Cybrins, they could not be using their cloaking because they will get spotted by the range of the Omni. So again, love the play here from Team 2's air player to get those online. Obviously, it would make the trifecta with putting one over here, but Team 2 is still trying to secure that position for the time being. And Mellonwise has continued to move westward and falling back. Does have some nice snipers online here. Again, very weak in terms of 700 hit points, 50 more hit points than a Mongoose. But looks like the army is slowly being whittled down here by those snipers, going after the weaker of the units. But it does look like those units do come into range and deal with those right quick. That land army has now merged. I would love to see units transferred over probably to Omnihaven from those Ilshi, so you can micro those a lot better, get them into formation movements. I see a lot of times where players just say, okay, select all, just select all these units and then move them in. But if you do the formation movement, they move slower, of course, but they stay together. And one downside of that is, we have artillery that can easily kind of get a nice little AoE spread on units. Oh, look at that. Transferred of units immediately after recognizing it. Good move here from Team 2 Stake. But anyway, it allows for units to move in, concert with one another. That way the shields can cover them still if there's shields and all of that. And it's not like you're stringing in units one by one. I have seen, situations where having that formation movement would have been the difference between taking out a fire base, taking out a base or not. So something to look into, of course, but the downside is they move slower, so your opponent has more time to react. So it's a double-edged sword, but it just depends on what you're trying to accomplish, essentially, or how much distance you have to cover, that sort of thing. And while the attack to the north is happening, Team 1's Desert Wolf counterattacks this firebase here for Stake. A lot of units just crash on this firebase. Actually all of the shield emplacements have been eliminated. The units have done their job taking out the shields, but Team 1, I don't know if they have artillery online. Looks like it's just PD. They're just spamming out some Authams to be able to crash on that base once again. But Team 2 is held strong for the time being. I don't know if it'll last that much longer, but again, delaying your opponent is better than nothing. Chicken online, the first, I don't know if it's the first of the game, but first to see some combat versus the Galactic Colossus. Lots of PD online here for Desert Wolf, and most of those PD are not being phased by the shields due to the fact that they're actually targeting the upper chest / the head of the Colossus. Not the fighter bombers over top, taking out a decent chunk of hit points. The chicken still still hasn't received any damage, but the shield does go down. Seraphim shields are very, very good in this game. The rest of the T3 units have arrived. They're going to target the chicken. Authams over to the east. A lot of PD online. Those laser cannons, very, very effective in dealing with a lot of groups of units because they can, they don't really miss until they have to change targets. But you can see this laser warfare going on here for Team 1. And this push looked like it was going to be very, very good, and then just got annihilated just by a couple of shields. One of them T3, a couple of them T2. Lovely, lovely defensive play here by Team 1's Desert Wolf. Definitely would have lost his entire base had those shields not been there. But that is the difference between victory and defeat. Sometimes it's just a couple of shields. Airplay, let's take a look at that. We haven't taken a look at that in a couple of minutes, or most of the game actually. Zapier sitting at 117. Love the number there. Alfie sitting at 99. So fairly even. Team 2 slightly ahead, but not by much. Also going for a Czar is Omnihaven, assisting in the air game. He's going to multiple of those Czars. I don't see... Oh! A Stue online here in the southeastern corner of the map. So Team 2 has thought about how to end the game. Has Team 1 thought about... Yes, they have. Their nuke is almost online, and it's almost loaded. Does Team 1 know about Team 2's nuke? No. Does Team 2 know about Team 1's nuke? No. Neither team knows about the other team's nuke. But we'll have to see where they place it. SMD is online and loaded for Team 1. SMD isn't even built for Team 2. So Team 1 has a huge advantage. I would either go after the air player, or I would either go after... So him or maybe Omnihaven would be the two biggest targets. You could open a hole for Desert Wolf to exploit on the western side for taking out that base. But I feel like going for the air grid's definitely the biggest play, and then something else after that. There is another attack here in the northeast. It is progressing more westward, but some Voltu gunships tearing through those Perseus. But of course the Perseus are just walking away. Voltu's not really doing a whole lot of damage because they are T2 instead of T3. And there is no T3 gunship that Team 1 has access to because they don't have any other faction other than Seraphim. And then of course that is the disadvantage with Seraphim Air is they don't have T3 gunships. I don't know if that was all random or not. That was planned, but the nuke has been launched. First of the game, going for the air grid. Zapier will definitely be feeling that in the morning, or actually in a couple of seconds, to be fair. Desert Wolf saying, just go away. Engineers from Furio have come over here and started to reclaim the base, not the base, but the units that died here from Team 2. Looks like there's some conversation going with that. But counter nuke is launched here for Team 2, and it's going after this base in the north. SMD is online, but not going to be loaded in time. Will Furio's SMD cover it? I don't think so, and that nuke will land. And Saphir will retreat and get away from the explosion. All the quantum gateway goes down. The entire air grid goes down besides one PGen. A couple PGens, actually. He started to build a YOLO. I don't know if he's going to focus on that now due to the fact he has no energy. You can see Saphir sitting at... No, actually, wow, he's still positive. I guess most of his mass-consuming facilities were killed off as well, so it kind of evens out. That nuke is going very close. Let's see. It will not cross into the range of that SMD, so Team 1 will lose an air grid. It isn't the most important air grid, but it is an air grid. And with 2 players in the air, it's giving Team 1 a huge advantage. That is another reason why I question going for Czar, because Team 2 does not have air control. I kind of forgot about Alfie being in air for a minute there. And the nuke will land. Oh, and I forgot. Apologies. Kaboom! And, of course, the one that just landed, kaboom! So 2 kabooms there at 31 minutes on the clock. We do see gunships being very effective and assisting with the dealing with of the Perseus here for Team 1. Chicken almost killed off here by said Perseus and T3 army, but it does look like it's not going to get any shot to do that, especially with a personal shield nearby. Fat Boy has been starting here for Team 2's Curly. And I don't see any chickens online for Team 2 as of yet. Chicken is being built, so I would assume possibly one was already constructed. I just don't see it anywhere. Nuke says Angel of Death, and yes, they have spread it. I like the part where our highest in the back slot said he won't do air, didn't kill the one guy, he double pushed and died to a couple of Nathas. Oh, that's I'm not even gonna make a comment about that. Plug this, please, says Moanwise. Yeah, there is a nice little hole for Team 2 to exploit. There is a chicken online for Omni Haven and a chicken pushing in the east. Gonna just charge a bunch of Perseus. Definitely would not recommend that strategy because Perseus do all of their damage in their first shot, if it does hit, of course. And that chicken does die, so that push will not really go anywhere, especially with Curly nearby. Does, of course, has to watch out for those slamper shots and omens, but the Perseus will be able to cover that column very, very effectively. Team 1's Moonwise has re-expanded back in the northeastern corner, is not willing to give that up, and he's constantly actually going back and forth. Did his namesake change? No. He is at 4-star agency, so maybe that's just a manual thing that he does. Second chicken now online here for Moonwise. And the chicken now in retreat here from Team 2's Omni Haven. The AA on board the chicken is not great. It's better than nothing, but it's not great. You can see just the pitiful amount of damage it does do. It's good for Team 1 bombers. That's it. It's all it's good for. Anything else is just rubbish. Chicken assaulting this base here for Team 2 Steak. It is a 2-pronged attack. We have Desert Wolf sending his forces all the way around in a hook maneuver while the chicken goes through the front door. And that's going to really wreak havoc on Team 2's defenses. Shields are down once again. Artillery trying to do what it can. They still haven't been able to pierce the firebase here from Desert Wolf in this position. Will start to collapse once again, especially with Team 2 not having a chicken. They do have a chicken in the form of Steak, but it's going to take a minute to get over there. Autumn did land up here on this upper plateau going after Team 1 air facilities. Looks like they're just building bombers for the time being, but again, annoying. Not really game-ending or game-changing, but yeah, it's still annoying. Omni Haven built another experimental. Is it another donut? Yes, it is. 3 donuts are online. But again, I question Team 2's Omni Haven going for donuts when Team 1 has air dominance. At least control at a minimum. Furrier sitting at 112 ASF with 29 interceptors bingo on fuel. And Alfie sitting at 111 ASF. So essentially, Team 1 has, let's say, 220, 230 to make the math nice and even. And they have an Awasa bomber online. Team 2 is sitting at 142. So about 70, I say 80 or so ASF behind The air grid is down. Doesn't look like it's actually being rebuilt. And, of course, focusing on nuclear production. The nuke is almost loaded once again. Team 1 launches another nuke. Team 2 still hasn't loaded an SMD. Are they going to go after Sapir once again? Are they going to go after the nuke? No, it lands a little bit shorter. Going after Omni Haven's T3 land headquarters. It will be eliminated. Not really. I mean, it's a loss, but it's not a huge loss. Another nuke outbound here from Team 2's air player of Sapir. Awasa going after the Omni. That will not survive. The shield, weirdly enough, the shield emplacement survive, but the shield, not the shield, but the Omni does not. Very, very surprisingly there. That nuke looks like it's going for Desert Wolf's position. And there is no, oh, there is an SMD, and it is loaded. Unfortunately for Team 2, that SMD will shoot down that nuke, and of course, kaboom! And I do love, of course, the kind of swirl effect that happens with the Seraphim nuke. The most prettiest nuke in the game, in my opinion. And it has nice little land decoration, if you want to call it a decoration. SMD fires, kills off that nuke. Team 2 is down on one more nuke. And ASF's just roaming the western side here. Awasa is still being annoying. Going after this position once again. Looks like it impacted the shield. Takes out one of the emitters, but not the other one. I don't know where the ASFs are going. Are they just going to rush Team 2's donuts? Yes, they are. ASFs have started to engage, but the donuts have activated their lasers. The ASF going to fly right on through. And it's just a bunch of ASFs after ASFs. Seraphim going after and donut. Still the donuts are alive. And they're, of course, they're doom stacked on top of one another. ASFs for Team 1 have essentially been eradicated. Team 2 used the 3 donuts to just annihilate all the ASFs that came through. And that is huge for Team 2. They have air control. Wouldn't say dominance because this is stop. You disappoint me, enemy team. Maybe stupid is probably what he was trying to spell. Don't know what that was going on. But Team 1 has lost essentially all of its air, if not all of it. And Team 2 is the only one with a decent amount of ASF remaining. Of course, the air facility has not been rebuilt. T3 air is online, but looks like he's building it over here. Another nuke is outbound. Again from Team 1. No. Wait. Oh, no. In the northwestern corner of the map, it is another nuke. It is a regular one going after the eastern side of the map, going after Curly. He doesn't have an SMD. Shame. You don't have an SMD at this point. Multiple nukes have already been launched. He will lose that base. Unless it's a magic SMD. No, there's not. Another nuke will launch. This time it's outbound here from Furio. And what is this over here? Just another air grid being built here by Team 1. So, again, secondary air player is coming back online once again. Chicken has finally eradicated this firebase here for Desert Wolf. But is Team 1 just going to stomp Team 2 into the ground just due to the fact that they haven't built SMD? One of them has been built. Sorry, excuse me. 2 of them have been built. That is it. I don't know why there's no more than that, but look at that. Will he get the comm? Yes, he will. Team 1 gets a snipe with the nuke. And it is now a 4v3 in favor of Team 1. SMD being pointed out by Alfie. And the comm of Omni Haven just sitting in the middle of nowhere on the eastern side of the map. Secondary air grid being established by Sapir over here in Omni Haven's base. Don't really know what's going on with that, but maybe, I mean, he wants a backup, and it's pretty smart to put it in another player's base, but it just makes it more of a juicy target to go after. Looks like pigeons are going to be established. Focusing on chicken production here is Omni Haven. Looks like he has some engineers. One Seraphim engineer being donated to assist with constructing said chickens. And honestly, with a game with 7 Seraphim players, I'm not seeing as many chickens as I imagined. I mean, there's a chicken. So I guess there's 4 chickens right there. Fat Boy online. Chicken. Awasa. No chickens for Furio. He has the Awasa, so that makes sense. And that's going to get some decent value out of that. Is there amount of AA to really make it not worth it? AA is coming in. How much mass will it kill off? It's sitting at 40. I think it's 46. Now it's killed off 55,000. Decent chunk of hit points have been lost, but not as much as I would thought. There's not that many lightning tanks online here for Steak. Needs to get his AA game online, and they're really rolling. Chicken, chicken, chicken. So here is the chicken factory here for Team 2 coming out of Omnihaven. All of those transferred over to Steak to Micro. It now looks like Omnihaven focusing on something else. Don't know what he is, but how are those donuts doing? Does Team 2 still have said donuts? I don't know where they went. Oh, that's a chicken wreck. Don't see them. Oh, no, that's another couple of chickens. Oh, the donuts are over here. Still Doomstacking here in the northeastern corner of the map. You see those chickens are the primary target for you. Yes, thank you for telling me that they're UFOs. I really do appreciate the naming convention for giant circular donuts that look like the things out of Independence Day. Yeah, because very original, original naming scheme. 2 chickens annihilated. ASF's moving in to intercept from Team 1. Just look at that just nonsense that got splurged out of Team 2's donuts. It's like it's like a wood chipper just shredding wood out the side. Massive amounts of spy planes being released from their hangars from those Czar. Going to get some nice readouts on what Team 1 is doing. Again, Team 1 has 2 nukes online. Looks like a lot of AA is being built to try to deter said donuts, but looks like the donuts are now going in to intercept Melonwise's position. He suffered a lot in this game. This position was killed off. He almost died. He was going for nano repair and then advanced nano repair. 1 donut will die here pretty shortly. Going to land almost on top of that SMD. Doesn't kill off the SMD, but kills off some P-gens. Looks like, again, Melonwise is the target, unfortunately, of those donuts. Second donut will die. Land on top of some mass fabs. That's got to hurt. And the donuts still not going after the combo Melonwise. Will they go for it and kill him off? Looks like they will. Again, he's sitting at 49,000 hit points. It's going to take a second for those donuts to chew through. Another nuke launched. It is outbound from Team 1, I would assume. I mean, I have a 66% chance. Yes, it is. It's from the corner of the map. And Melonwise is not going to be focused down by the donuts. T1 bombers over the top here. Force Sapir going after don't know what, but there's a nice juicy mass fab facility to go after. It looks like it's going to continue in westward. ASF's going to call in to try to deter the donut from moving into the air grid. It will not get there in time and will be killed off in Team 1's territory. No, there's no way. There's too many ASF still alive. Oh, 400, 500 hit points. A couple of ASF are needed to kill it off. Going after Alfie. It's going to land on top of Alfie. Will it kill him? No, it will not. It'll drop him into the yellow. His little position has been bombarded, but his SMD is not dead. And where did that nuke go? Looks like it's right here. Team 2 loses another position. Don't know if it looks like it's a comm. No? No, it's just a nuke. And there it goes. It's going to land, taking out some more mass extractors. Gunship's going to get caught in the blast. One of them does. Kaboom! Kaboom! Another double kaboom there. Artillery raining in from Team 1's position. Looks like it's coming from Burrio. So again, he's been thinking about how to end the game for a while. Another nuke outbound. SMD coverage. It is SMD covered, so that's not a huge concern for Team 1. Another nuke is outbound over the middle. Looks like it might going after this position, but the invasion from Furio has commenced. A lot of Team 1 spam. And behind that, a bunch of omens, and he is pumping those things out. He's currently sitting at 97. Will I see 100 being online at one time? No. That's it. What are you going to build? That's annoying. And in the west, we see 2 chickens trying to go after this firebase. One of them will die to PD. Or no, I think... oh, it gets rank convention. I don't think so. I don't think it'll die to PD, especially with units moving in to take out said PD. And Team 2 still retains a decent amount of air control, but not by much. And a Fat Boy pushing on the eastern side here for Sapir, going after the defenses in the air. We have some Nathas coming over the top trying to deal with said Fat Boy, but that shield will stay online for the time being. Some flak AA deals with a couple of those bombers. And Team 1's Alfie now chasing down a Fat Boy with Team 1 spam. And that Fat Boy going to continue pressuring Team 1's Melonwise, trying to go after the mass fab facility. I don't think it'll actually kill it off due to the fact that the sniper bots have done a ton of work in dealing with said Fat Boy. And one more set of volleys from those sniper bots will be enough to kill off that FAF war. And there he goes. Percies have been built, but they're not going to last very long, unfortunately. In the middle of the map, bombers trying to hurriedly deal with the incursion of omens. And 2 chickens online for Team 2. Another donut now online here for Omnihaven. He's lost 3 of them and has now built his 4th one. Team 2, do you have any plans for game enders or artillery? I mean, you have a nuke, but and that YOLO's been sitting there for a while. I don't know if it'll actually finish off construction. And more chickens in the west. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 chickens online for Team 2 Stake. And he is going to run it down Team 1's Desert Wolf throat. Keygen gets annihilated. Lots of engineers get killed off there. T3 facilities pumping out transports. Going to bring up one next to the comm. The comm won't get on board. And we'll be able to get out of dodge. I don't see any ASF in the area, so he'll be fine. He won't be killed off by his transport being annihilated. Transport does pick him up. Engineers trying to get out of dodge. He's going to move to the northern side of the map to be safe. Albasaw Bomber going to try to deter the chickens, but a lot of damage has been done. You are... Strategic launch detected. I guess Desert Wolf is annoyed at Furio. Don't really know the context of that, but for some reason and he's just annoyed. I think he's just annoyed because this facility didn't really do a whole lot for him in the wall section. I don't know. I don't really know what the story is behind that. But the chickens not really fully committing to go after Desert Wolf. Kind of moving east, moving north, moving west. This PD position still shelling the chicken. Chickens should just stop moving, turn around, kill all the PD, and then be done with it. We do see, of course, 2 more chickens coming in reserve. And even if this chicken dies, this facility is down and dusted. Large groups of AA being annihilated. Awasai Bomber over the top once again. And ASF's coming in to protect it. ASF's going to go for the bomber. And will they get it? They will get the bomber, but they're going to take heavy casualties from it. Team 1 will have air dominance most handedly here. They had it a little bit, and then they had it a lot because Team 2 didn't have an air facility. And then Team 2 was able to kill off a lot of the ASF. Oh, another nuke, sorry, lands. Kaboom! Takes out the firebase here for Stake. But he now controls the southwestern corner of the map, so he can easily repair that. And the chickens still stomping forward. 3 of them are left alive. 1 chicken going to try to catch up to the 3 chickens. And 2 more chickens over here. 1 more chicken. And T3 support moving into, well, support. And Nuke might be really well primed. And the Nuke is going to land on top of the wreck here from, well, Furio. Doesn't really matter. Oh, will it kill off a chicken or 2? I think it will. Kills off 1 chicken. Huge amount of the wall section. Kills off all the mass. But again, now it's a 2v1 instead of a 3v1, and that chicken will be able to intercept the chicken here from Team 2 and kill that off before it loses too much hit points. Team 2 launches another nuke outbound here for Team 1's Millenwise's position. He gets his SMD loaded once again, so that's not going to go anywhere. And artillery still raining in on Team 2's nuclear position. Team 2 still hasn't gone anywhere else. Oh, explosion. Looks like that was a RASCOM of some sort. Yep, that is. Oh, it's an entering preset. Excuse me, not a RASCOM. Awasai Bomber has been constructed by Sapir. Still hasn't continued the YOLO construction, but still has it there. Because why not? And there is a resurgence once again for Millenwise in the eastern side, pushing back Sapir's forces. And what's this over here? Looks like it is a YOLO started here for Team 1's other air player of Alfie. So 2 regular nukes and a super nuke here for Team 1 versus 1 nuke for Team 2. Still haven't made any relatively, focused play for any long range nonsense. The 3 donuts have been built once again here by Team 2. But will it be enough to kill off all of those ASF once again? 1 donut does get killed off. ASF try to come in and shore up those defenses. 2nd donut is down. 3rd donut is also down. Team 2 loses 3 more donuts. Mass landing on top of one another, leaving 50,000. Now the fighter bombers trying to deter those chickens from coming into range of the artillery. 2 chickens also online here for Sapir, trying to push in as well. So 5 chickens online. I love this firebase here from Furio up on this upper plateau. Nothing really of strategic value except being above the main plane of attack. It's a little bit easier for ground units to go after it. 2 chickens are down. 2 chickens from Safer still remain, and 1 from Steak. And those chickens just got to push in. You just got to get that chicken essentially right there, and it'll be perfectly fine. And the chicken, you can't, no, the chicken needs to keep moving. You got to move the chicken in. You should not give Team 1 any time to build up more defenses. That chicken does die now. All the focus is on this chicken. That chicken would already be there by now. The SMD is the main target. Might get the kill on that SMD, but easily could have just killed off everything over here with his chicken. The chicken did die, kills off the SMD, but I don't know if that's really worth it. Could have easily walked in and killed all of that off with the Ion Storm. Looks like some Othams get in the main base here for Team 2. They take out Team 1's SMD, and that was one of their only SMDs. The other one's over here. And that, yeah, that's the only other SMD. Team 2 has had barely any SMD coverage, even though they know Team 1 has 2 nukes online. Well, they at least know of one of them. They don't know about the other one. And they don't know about the third one being built, which is the super one. But Awasa Bomber over the top, going after the air grid over here that's exposed. No shields around it. Bomb is going to drop. That's going to kill off a decent amount of that air grid, if not all of it, right in the middle of it. And that bomber will be annihilated in its turn, kills off the entire thing. And those air units that were being built, bomber just gets annihilated in its turnaround. And does do a good job taking out a decent chunk of mass, essentially 20,000 for 25. Not the best value proposition for it, but again, pretty close, and it took out a huge air grid, so worth it? Effective? Yes. Donut moving around here for Team 2's Omni Haven. Chicken being chased by chicken, and see, now I'm saying chicken, chickens, and more chickens. We just gotta get more chickens. Omni Haven building more donuts. Donut actually receives artillery fire. Nuke launches from Team 1 once again. Team 2 doesn't have an SMD. Not SMD. Doesn't have a nuke loaded. Team 1 could still go after this nuke over here, but they're just not going for it. Launching from the northwestern position from Alfie. How's that YOLO doing? It's in the yellow. Above 33% completed there. Approaching 5,000 of the 12,000 hit points needed for it to be fully operational. And artillery still landing around the donut producing facilities. One of the T3 landing corners was taken out here by Team 1. Another nuke outbound. It is from Team 1 once again. And I just feel like Team 2 isn't doing a whole lot to really deal with the nuclear threat. All they would have to do is build just a couple of SMDs, and that would be it. But it feels like they're trying to win it on the land side of things, and it's not really working. Titans, and more Titans pushing forward with some Percy support. That's actually a lot of Percy support, to be fair. Needs AA, needs shields. Those are the two things I would say with that land army. Nuke gonna land, take out this position, kaboom. Takes out this position, producing a bunch of T3 units. That is a lot of Percys that's gonna go up and smoke T3 landing quarters. Also get taken out. Kaboom! Takes out Pigeon. I think those were kennels as well. And those nuke launchers sitting at 309,000 mass kill just with that one from Furio. This one up top killed off 85,000. So sitting at essentially 400,000 mass killed off with nukes. And that one is above 50% completed. Team 2, how much mass have you killed off? 105. So the secondary nuke built by Alfie almost has as much mass killed off as Team 2's primary nuke. And, I mean, the mass isn't super far away from one another. Team 1 at 1.6, Team 2 at 1.2. But I feel like Team 1's being a lot more effective with, or efficient, I should say, with their mass. Team 2 is kind of just semi-dumping it on their doorstep. Reclaim Team 1, well, I see why. Team 1, 350,000 mass reclaim. Team 2 at 160, so less than half of what Team 1 has reclaimed. And artillery still landing around the construction site of those donuts. And to be fair, Team 2 had a great move using those donuts to get air control, but they just didn't really use it as heavily as they probably could have. I feel like at this point I'm just going to speed it up just slightly just because there's really not a whole lot going on now. 51 minutes on the clock. And we have more donuts roaming the map, but unfortunately they're not going to be grouped together. Those donuts can be caught unawares. This one is annihilated. This one actually was already wounded. That one also gets annihilated. Team 2 doesn't even have time to respond with ASF. And that is the life of the donuts here for Team 2. You can still see 2 wrecks over here. You can see the 3 wrecks over here. And I'm assuming the wrecks over here have been cleared out. Yes, they have been. Lots of mass dumped on Team 1's doorstep, sitting at almost 400,000 mass reclaimed. It makes a huge difference. Reclaim is one of the most important factors on how efficient you're being, how much mass you're giving to your opponent. You know, how much mass have you reclaimed? Are you being efficient with the mass your opponent gives you? That sort of thing. Nuke is outbound from Team 2. And it's killed off, again, 105,000 going after the artillery position. And still only 1 artillery has been built. Not really focusing in here for Furio, focusing on other endeavors. Looks like ASF and Nuke loading is his main 2 focuses. And some chickens, but mainly just nukes. 309,000 mass. How much did that Nuke killed off? Still 85,000. Nuke is outbound. Is going to kill off an artillery piece. Is going to kill off a chicken. And that's going to hurt. Might even kill off a couple of engineering presets. But a large group of Nathas running around. Maybe it won't get the chicken. Maybe it's a little bit too far away. Does not get the chicken. Tries to get the T3 land facility right here. Fails on that aspect. The nuke from Team 2 sat at 105. Now it's sitting at 204. So it's redeeming itself quite nicely. But the spam facilities for Melonwise are under full effect. Going after this position here in the east. And I feel like it's starting to shape up like Team 2 is going to win this, especially with Team 2 going for YOLO, which is currently done. Teleport has been started here for Desert Wolf. Don't know where he's going with that. And that super nuke has launched, going after this position. The air grid, or what remains of it, is going to be done and dusted. There's another air grid over here, but not by much. Sapir is completely out of the blast radius. His engineering presets will be annihilated.
Strategic launch
Another nuke outbound, a regular one here from Team 1's Furio. And how's the one here? Alfie, 2/3 the way loaded. Omni having controlled K, sees the writing on the wall at a nice defendable position here in the east. But I don't know about that. Why says stake? Well, I mean, the super nuke definitely explains why. YOLO wasn't even really a focus. Built it for a little bit. That was it. And there goes all of the mass. Oh, those engineering presets. There they go. Oh, up in smoke. I said not to push GCs in the big shielded chicken. He did anyways and didn't even touch it. This safer. That was the one about the chicken underneath shield coverage. Which, again, was a really good move by Team 1. Just not moving the chicken out of shield coverage, just keeping it there. And then Sapir's team recalls, leaving Team 1 to remain the victors of the match. I mean, they were facing down nuke after nuke after nuke after nuke. And Team 2 still didn't focus SMDs. Very surprising here from Team 2. Team 1's MVP of the match. Ooh, I mean, Furio, of course, did a really good job with the first nuke. Did a really good job with the air. I'd say the most exciting move in the game was probably Team 2's triple stacking of the donuts that ended up getting their gaining them air control for a while, because all those ASFs just spit out the side of them after they ran on through. But the YOLO wasn't really consequential into Team 1 winning. It was a nice little cherry on top. But definitely the nukes definitely led to Team 1's victory quite heavily. Team 2 was starting to fight back on the ground, but was getting halted every which way. Having 2 air players definitely helped with that. Having air control for most of the game, if not air dominance for most of it. We do see, of course, Melonwise on the eastern side pushing with his land spam over here. But, I mean, honestly, I might just have to give it to Furio just because of that one nuke. Killed off, oh, let me zoom in a little bit. Killed off 351,000 mass. Team 2's nuke has actually been killed off. I think it was sitting at 200,000, and Alfie's sitting at 86, with the YOLO sitting at 80,000 as well. But again, let me know down in the comments what you felt about the match. Please, if you haven't done so already, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. Again, thank you so very much for watching. I really, really do appreciate it. And share this video with anyone, everyone, and especially your pets. And I will see all of you in the next one.